Hello, welcome to my World of Stuff, an impromptu, unexpected video this afternoon, which hopefully will be arriving just as this press release I've had loses its embargo, which is 3:30. So I'm hoping that this will go live fairly soon afterwards, so I can be one of the first to officially break the news to you about the new Doctor Who Blu-ray set. Now, Doctor Who fans, of course, will have been snapping up the exclusive limited edition special packaging Doctor Who Blu-ray box sets, which have been coming up for some time. They've more recently been re-released in slimline, more affordable packages for those who've missed out on the limited editions. And there have been rumours for a few months about what the next release would be, and I think it's generally been anticipated that the next release would be season 17 from the classic season of Doctor Who, which screened from 1979 to 1980, Tom Baker's penultimate run in the role, and I can now confirm that that is in fact correct. That has now been confirmed, courtesy of a BBC press release which has just arrived, confirming that that is indeed the next release. Doesn't actually give me the date on this release, but I'm hoping that by the time the embargo is lifted in about 40 minutes or 30 minutes when I'm recording this, the date will be announced, so I will put it at the bottom of the screen to let you know when this is actually going to be available. Before I tell you what's on the disc, because there is a comprehensive list of what we can expect from this new release, Season 17, for those who don't know or those who've forgotten, was the third and final season produced by Graham Williams. This is Tom Baker at his most difficult, I think, in terms of the production of the programme. He was going through lots of personal issues at the time. I think he became extremely possessive of the character of the Doctor, and he was legendarily difficult to work with. This isn't his most accomplished season of Doctor Who, and in fact, looking at the list of the 5 stories, if I'm honest, there's only one that is really a great Doctor Who story. The production starts to get a bit shonky and ropey, and it just looks a bit sloppy, which is why when the new producer John Nathan Turner came in later in the year, he shook things up a little bit, but that's another story. So what we've got here is season 17, which you will know comprises of Destiny of the Daleks. This was the first appearance of the Daleks on TV for about 4 years, 4.5 to 5 years, and it's a decent story, again let down by some slightly shonky production values. The Daleks look extremely tatty. It's a shame they weren't given a bit of a lick of paint for their return to TV, but it's quite an interesting action-packed story written by Terry Nation, but full of those sort of cliches that we're used to from Terry Nation's work. The second story was Doctor Who's first trip abroad, filming in France for the classic, and it is a classic. It's a great story. I think it's probably in anyone's top 10 list of Doctor Who's. City of Death, where the Doctor and Romana travel to Paris to thwart these strange schemes of Count Scarlione, played by the brilliant Julian Glover. It's a great story. It's a great 4-part story. It looks slick. It looks sophisticated. Tom Baker's on better behaviour because he's got a good script to work with, written by his friend Douglas Adams, who was the script editor for this particular season. And yes, just a very clever, witty story, and looks great. Then we have Creature from the Pit by David Fisher. This takes place on the planet Chloris, where the Doctor and Romana, played by Lala Ward, answer a distress call from an egg that's stranded out in a sort of primeval forest on this woodland planet where there is a shortage of metal. And there's something strange lurking in a pit, hence the title. It's not a great story, but it has its moments. Then the rot sort of sets in really with the last 2 stories, which are just ropey looking productions. There's Nightmare of Eden, written by Bob Baker, set on 2 spaceships which have fused together, and there's some mature themes in it, sort of drug running and stuff like that, but the monsters, the Mantles, aren't the series' most accomplished creatures. And the story just, again, suffers from poor production values that were a problem for the show at the time, and the series sort of rounds off with The Horns of Nimon, a pantomime romp, which is full of pantomime performances, and again, some slightly sloppy production. This is the season, famously, that also included the six-part Douglas Adams serial Shada, which was never completed due to industrial action at the BBC, which paused a lot of productions. By the time the industrial action was resolved, it was too late to remount the missing scene, so the story has never been finished as it was intended. But of course, there have been umpteen versions ever since, animated versions, reconstructed versions, re-recorded versions with different cast, and that is on this new box set. So those are the stories. An interesting mix, not Doctor Who at its best, I have to say, but I'll be buying it because I'm a completist and I like these box sets, but I like them for the new material that's on them, and there's some beautiful stuff on here. There's some brand new documentaries for a start. There's a making of documentary for Destiny of the Daleks, and a new featurette for Creature from the Pit. I can't remember now from the old DVD releases if there were any behind the scenes or making of documentaries, but we're going to have them now for this new set. The bits I'm really interested in, a feature called Tom Talks, a candid interview with Tom Baker, as he gives us his unique take on life, the universe and everything. I mean, Tom Baker is the grand old man of Doctor Who now. He's the real elder spokesman of the series, and he's even now in his late 80s, I think, he's still an extraordinary orator, a fantastic storyteller, and a real eccentric personality, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Then we have a Douglas Adams tribute. As I mentioned, Douglas Adams wrote City of Death under the name David Agnew. He also wrote Shada. He was the script editor at the time. He was sort of hot property at the time because of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy radio series the year before. So it was quite a coup for Doctor Who to get him to script edit a season, even if it's not hugely successful. But it'll be interesting to see friends and colleagues remember the Doctor Who writer, script editor and creator of Hitchhikers. That should be good fun. Then we have In Conversation. This is an interesting one. Matthew Sweet's documentaries, his features where he sits down for an hour or so and chats to Doctor Who stars. Always good value. He's so well researched. He draws interesting things that you don't know about his subjects. And this one is a conversation with Bob Baker, the writer of Nightmare of Eden, of course co-creator of K9, and one of the creative forces behind Wallace and Gromit these days. So he's still around working in the industry. And of course he's worked on Doctor Who since 1971, when he and his writing partner at the time, Dave Martin, wrote The Claws of Axos, and then a string of stories. The Three Doctors was one of theirs. So that should be an interesting conversation. Then we have Behind the Sofa. These are the usual features where Doctor Who alumni past and present sit and watch truncated versions of the episodes and comment on them. And here we have Colin Baker, Katie Manning, Matthew Wardhouse, Nicola Bryant, costume designer June Hudson, Graham Harper, classic and new series director, and Matt Irvin, who designed a lot of the models for Doctor Who back in the 70s. So interesting to see a few new faces there. I'm not hugely disappointed to see Peter Davison is not there, because he's been a bit grumpy in some of the last ones that I've seen. Then we have an extensive interview discussing her first year on the programme with Lala Ward. Again, interesting because, she hasn't talked a lot about her time on the show really, and that's going to be an interesting piece. Then we have Shada, an updated version of the Lost Story, completed with enhanced animation and presented in 6 episodes for the first time, alongside the original 1992 VHS and 2017 version. The 2017 version came out on Blu-ray and DVD, and that was a extended version. This is now split into episodes, so that should be quite interesting, and it'll be interesting to see improved animation, which is always welcome. Exclusive new audio commentaries with Tom Baker on episodes of Destiny of the Daleks and City of Death, and Lala Ward and Catherine Schell on the City of Death. That should be very interesting. Extended episode, an early cut of Creature from the Pit Part 3, trailer for the Blu-ray. Now there is an exclusive new trailer which isn't available at the moment, but I will put a link to it in the description section, so you can zap straight to that, because at the time I'm recording this it isn't available yet. Then there's the usual immersive 5.1 surround sound on Destiny of the Daleks and Shadow. That should be fun. Rare gems from the archives, BBC archive material covering the promotion of the season, convention footage from 1997 from Tom Baker, photo galleries, production subtitles, and of course all the hours of special features that were on the previous DVD releases of these stories. So that's season 17 of Doctor Who coming to Blu-ray. I imagine it's coming in time for Christmas. So, as I said, at the moment it's 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's just gone 3 o'clock, and the press release is embargoed until 3:30. So I don't as yet have the dates for this, but I will I'll probably put it as a sort of a stream at the bottom of this video, and with a link to the trailer, which should be good fun, because the trailers have always been very entertaining for these boxes. I think they're written and directed by Pete McTeague, who writes a lot for the current series, and he's obviously a big fan, and he knows what tickles fans' fancies, if you were. So anyway, that's the official confirmation. Season 17 is the next Doctor Who release up. As I say, I'll put the date up here, and yeah, when it comes, of course, I'll do an unboxing and a review. So anyway, that's me for this little impromptu video. Hope this news has been of interest to you. If it has, and you like this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and until I see you next time, you need to keep taking the stuff.